Labguy here. We got some work done on the NBTV DissectorCam today. I printed out a new part on the 3D printer. We'll watch a little bit of video of that in progress. And then I begin some semi-permanent assembly of that unit to install and anchor the deflection yoke and to attach the two body parts permanently to each other and provide some mounting legs. So enjoy the following relatively random clips in time order that they were shot. The first two layers are complete and they are pretty. I don't think you can see them on camera here the way I can see them with the naked eye. But they are smooth and pretty. It's currently on layer 3 and it starts by printing the supports. This circle on the inside is a support and this rectangular part out here is a support. So yeah, there's a jutting structure pretty high up on the it's a cylinder, and it's going to have a flat base beneath it when it's mounted correctly. It's an it keeps it from rolling, of course, and it'll have the two screw holes for mounting it to the aluminum box that this will ultimately ride on top of. All will become clear in time. Now we're doing infill. I missed the transition, but there we go. It's printing a diamond pattern in there. And that's so that you don't end up with a solid block of plastic. Should be able to see that when the print head gets out of the way. Looks like a waffle. 5 minutes to 4. We started at about 5 minutes to 1. So it's been going 3 hours. It's now going on 8 p.m. and it won't be finished until around 2 a.m. It's nearly 11:15. It's still going. It's still going. Why? It's 1:15 a.m. Still going. I'm going to bed. It's 8 a.m. in the morning and it's done. Let's see what we can show you. There it is. There it is. Not much to look at, is it? All right. Can he get it off or will he break his printer? Let's find out. And this turkey is on there, I'll tell you that. I don't want to tear this pad. Apparently, that is one heck of a magnet. Ah, there we go. As he tears his knuckles off. Ah, okay. Here's the barrel section for the camera. This is the middle section. And what I've added is this footer for it to sit on. Right? This is the end of the unit where the lens mount will go. The camera tube will be inside. We have the, I don't know what you call this, protrusion to join the section A. This is section B. So we have some support material on the inside here that has to come out, and there's support material on the front here that has to come off. Alright, here we go. So yeah, it's not too bad. And of course we don't want to stab ourselves with the putty knife. That would be a bummer. Ah, very nice. Don't know if you can see the screw holes. They came out kind of tiny. We have more support material in here. I don't know how we get that out. One thing at a time. So, hey, it doesn't roll away. Okay. Huh. I wonder if I can push this into service. Alright. We'll take out this. Can we see? Am I in the picture? No. How does one remove support material in a hole like that? Well, isn't that interesting? Let's see. I don't want to scar this up too much, though this area of the material is hidden. Ta-da! Alright. This is where the deflection yoke sits inside the tube, inside here, and the tube comes through the center. That support material is out. This is where the wires for the deflection yoke come out. And we're left with the locations for the screw holes, which in this case they have support material in them. So I will probably drill those out. And these screw holes are also too small. I'll drill them out. Very good. So that's it. It's printed. I don't know when it finished, so I can't tell you the actual number of hours. There's virtually no stringing this time. On the original model, the inside of this thing was a solid web. It's just a very tiny amount. Here we go. This is the original camera body that I built. And this is the old section that I'm replacing now. Put that aside. This one, in theory, it goes right on. The foot is right here, right? This is the spacer for the deflection yoke. It's a shame all this stuff is so black, but that's because it's a camera. Cameras are generally painted black inside. Alright, we don't want to break this tube putting the yoke in. So here's the deflection yoke and the wires. And if I got everything right, these wires will go through this hole. So far, so good. Oh, look at that. The mark I made on the yoke up here showing the top when the picture was right side up, it appears to be relatively 90 degrees to the base, to the foot, so I think we're good there. And then this piece, which was the support for printing, actually fits the radius on here, and I'm going, it's a shame you can't see that, huh? I'm going to glue it to this one as the back foot for this section. I will not have to print this out. So now, relative to the up and down, this line here splitting these two connectors, there's a connector here and here. Well, in fact, I can use the text to make that right side up, and this foot will go on the bottom under here to level this up. So we'll place that on, put the spacer in. We have our yoke leads coming out. We have our front foot, finger quotes, and our bottom foot. And if we set this thing down, how shall I do this? We'll set it this way, position the jacks, and place that like that. You see, it now won't roll away. And I can either tape these two barrels together or glue them together. The bottom comes off by removing three thumb screws, and so these could become a single element now. And then I can glue, by gluing this other support underneath, you see, this one, by gluing it, we get these squared up, and wow, gnarly dude. Now all of this at the front, which is trying to fall out, of course, will be held in by the new lens mount, which I will print, which will have holes that match up to the holes in the front of this, which you cannot see. I'm using optically black material on purpose. So the camera unit, the camera support now is finished. It's well on its way. This lens mount is a screw-in lens mount, and there are issues. I've been trying to make this tap itself into the plastic, and had pretty good results, but I had to hand sand the hole to make it accept the thread. And so the new version of this has been opened up by 1/4 of a millimeter, so that hopefully this lens mount will thread in easier. Alright, let's glue these parts together. I'm going to use clear silicone, which means I can take them apart if I don't like the result in the end. So I need to glue the front cylinder to the back cylinder. I need to glue the deflection yoke down, and I need to glue this extra curved leg piece onto the other cylinder in the right location. So we'll start by taking the tube out. This is the FW-130 Image Dissector Tube that I've been talking about, for those of you who haven't watched the earlier videos. These are still available. They made lots of them. So we'll put this aside where it won't get broken. This is the socket for the tube. It has a lot of pins. The base, made by Products for Research Incorporated, Danvers, Massachusetts, for the FW-130. Alright, that's our base. We'll start here. Now you see the two jacks? When I have this mounted correctly, the writing will be right side up. So I'm going to start by gluing in the deflection yoke. This, with this base down here, is right side up, and you'll notice I made a top mark on the yoke to know where top center is, so it lines up with the top screw hole. So we're going to put a couple of dabs of silicone on this to hold it in, and if I need to pull it out in the future, of course, I will be able to do so. Not sure how I want to do this. I guess I'll put it at 3 locations at the 120 degree marks. We'll put some in here. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, Mr. Smarty Pants. We'll use this to spread it. Okay, there we go. Got some in there. And then we'll put some more over here. There we go. Spread this around. And then at the top center mark, we'll do it again. I guess I'll just squeeze some out and scoop it off this way. There we go. I don't want this dripping on my table. There we go. Alright. Place that in there. Like so. Take our yoke and press it in. Get the wires in the right place so that the yoke is now flat to the edge and aligned upright. I don't care if it's 1 or 2 degrees left or right. That will just give the camera character. Now, as that sets up, that'll keep that in place. If we need to take it out, we can run a blade around the outside and cut it loose. The next thing is to glue the cylinders together. Thus, so where's my marks here? That's pretty much where I want it. Let's see if a pencil mark is visible on this stuff. More or less. Mostly less. Alright. We'll take this out. And we will put 3 dabs again. And there. there. About there. Once again, allowing for us to dismantle the connection if we feel that we must. Alright, cap the tube, and we'll spread these out a little. I don't want a lot of it oozing out around the outer perimeter. I don't want any oozing out. That should do it. Alright. Figure out where my mark is. There it is. Find the mark on this one. Place these together. Like that. It oozed. It's always something. Okay. The marks are lined up. And then put a bit of tape to hold it from rotating while we manhandle it some more. There we go. And the last thing will be to add this C-mount, the C-clip thing, to down here. It's not important where it goes, per se. One centimeter from the end. It doesn't matter. The cylinder is 17 centimeters long for the curious. And now for this guy, we want to put a dab in here. There we go. And as you can see, this is pretty low tech. I've found through my career that keeping it simple is the best way to get a job done in a reasonable amount of time. Alright. And we can now place, I want to put that on the table so that it is in reference to the front one. Now, I don't know what just happened. Something moved. I guess the all right. I'm looking at the back. We are vertical here. We are standing on this foot. Don't know if you can see it, and the front one is in there as well. So now we'll use the rubber bands to hold everything tight. Didn't want that one anyways. There we go. Now we got the rubber bands on. We've got our base feet on. And there is our unit curing. We'll let that glue set for several hours. And that part of the project will be done. The finish is different between this cylinder and this because I used different slicing parameters, but I'm going to cover this with a vinyl wrap to make it look like carbon fiber, so this won't be visible in the end anyways. So there we go. The yoke is in place, the vertical mark is up. It will be set in place, and you're probably wondering, but Labguy, how are you going to put the tube back in? These 3 screws come out and this back unit comes off, and then we'll slide the tube in that way. We'll place it in the base and slide it in. So there we go. The 3D printing of the latest element of the case is done. Some final assembly has begun, and the next stage will be to work on the lens mount. You can see I had adhesion problems when I printed this disc, but I have a new version of this with the screw holes that match the front of the camera housing, and this opening for this metal lens mount to screw into has been enlarged, as I had a hell of a time putting that into here. It was really hard. So that's where it's at. So back to you, Labguy. So that was the progress of the NBTV Dissector Cam up to this point. Soon we will have the physical assembly of this unit finished, and we can move on to the electronic design, which for a project of this type will not be too difficult. Expect to see my development of the memory chip based state machine again to produce a sync generator, some scanning circuits for driving the deflection coils, and a relatively simple video amplifier for getting the signal out of the camera. Hopefully. This is a project that has no guarantee of success. I don't know if we can get these tubes to make images from room lit objects. I've yet to achieve that with any of my image dissector tubes. So let's hope for the best. And I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers, and greetings to all the current subscribers. Keep watching. There's a lot to come on this channel, and I want you to know that I appreciate every one of you. Thank you for watching. If you know anyone else who likes this subject matter, be sure to recommend the channel and encourage them to subscribe. You know what else to do if you want. I'm not going to say it because everybody else does. So until next time, Labguy out.